Yeah, she's definitely back to normal. Those half-sarcastic, inconsiderate remarks that really push my buttons, even though she doesn't mean it. That vacant, spaced-out stare that always expects more than it gives. It's so very much like her. I may need to come in. I need some help with this water and the clothes I'm wearing. My brain quickly solves this equation, and I stumble with my words, a stark display of contrast against Rin's easygoing self-invitation. But, Emmy... Rin shakes her head vehemently, causing water to sprinkle everywhere. She left. Besides, she would just worry and fuss until she couldn't worry or fuss anymore, which always takes a troublesomely long time. It's in fact longer than I want to hear her fussing, and I thought you probably are not the fussing kind. She slumps down on my desk with a squishy sound. Her soaked clothes are making the desk and everything on it wet, but she doesn't care. Okay, fine. I'll help you out. I have a towel somewhere. You want dry clothes? Is a uniform fine? I'm taller than you, but... Everything's fine. With a little searching, I find a fresh uniform and a fluffy towel from the depths of my closet. Get the dem boobs notepad? I will soon. We're not there yet. It doesn't happen for a while. The towel in one hand and the uniform in the other. She keeps a lot of her clothes on. I turn to face Rin again, uncertain of the next step. There is something wrong with me. A normal guy would just stop worrying. Not a problem. She could probably see right through my hesitant demeanor, as if I was completely transparent to her. I push my anxiety away and concentrate on the 8 buttons lined on her shirt, just like mine has. Only the first button is an obstacle. Yeah, that's the funny thing. You forget over time, but Rin wears the boys' uniform. But she wears what the dudes wear. Everybody else is wearing the ladies. Only the first button is an obstacle, and after getting it over with, I undo the others with slightly less shaking hands. Oh, look at her little sad face. Throwing the soaked shirt aside, I reveal Rin's pale upper body, shrouded only in her light blue brassiere, which instantly reminds me of her saying it's her favorite color. I try not to think too much about stuff, but it's hard not to look at her body with what I can only think of as mixed feelings. I don't know what to think of this, so I just watch her. Rin looks brittle. She's like a shell, a fragile thing just barely holding together. Her ribs, each of them visible under her pale skin, are moving up and down in the rhythm of her breath. Rin always struck me as quite thin, but I realize now that the manic creative period before the exhibition opening might have caused her to lose weight. Did she eat properly? And enough? Definitely not, and probably not. This ugly yet beautiful bare minimum of a human body that belongs to someone I care about is a contradiction of aesthetics in itself, oddly becoming of her. My eyes follow her collarbone to her shoulder and down her arm into the abrupt end. No, it's less than the bare minimum, I think with a passing pang of sadness and some guilt for thinking like that. Her arms, degenerated into almost nothing but bone and skin due to lack of use, look very short now that the long sleeves of her uniform are not covering them. My lack of any negative reaction makes me think I've actually grown pretty accustomed to the various physical abnormalities of my schoolmates. Yeah, you're not an asshole anymore, like you were in the first act. My god, he's an asshole in the first act of this game. I was wondering why Rin keeps her shirt sleeves long, only tying them in a simple note, not at where the elbow would be. It seems a bit impractical, but then again, she's not exactly the pinnacle of practicality. Maybe she likes it. Maybe it's somehow important to her. Well, maybe there's no deeper meaning to it. I feel like asking, and almost do, but Rin's miserable state requires a higher priority of my attention. She stopped talking, too, after we ran out of spiky greetings. I guess there's no need for chit-chat, then. I pick up the towel from the bed and wrap it around her head, rumpling it all over her hair until most of the rainwater is hopefully soaked into the fabric. She peeks out from below the towel at me, looking at me with impassive eyes. Looks like she wants to say something, without saying it. It's that kind of look. But I can't read what she's thinking about from her face, so I just keep on fussing with the towel around her shoulders and hair. Some people... Stop saying just fuck already in the chat. Shame on all of you. Just fuck already! The silence is oppressive, terrifying. Communication between us has suddenly been reduced to the movements of my hands and the towel, and Rin swaying her body to and fro. My jagged breathing and her quiet breaths, trying to find a common rhythm that just isn't there. I will say this about the writing. I like that they kept a nice ongoing theme. Instead of just writing random shit, they kept an interesting ongoing theme of discord between the two of these. Like, they never breathe at the same rate, they keep interrupting each other when they talk, and their footsteps never match when they walk. That was kind of a nice little touch. I think I can hear her heartbeats, or maybe they're just mine redoubled. As I brush a rogue strand of hair aside from her ear. And yes, I'm allowed to just stop and be whimsical about this game, because we're almost done with it! We're not coming back to it! I'm allowed to take my time. Rin suddenly presses her cheek against the back of my hand. The contact is electric, a jolt of current surging through me. Whether she seeks comfort, warmth, or just my touch, I wouldn't know. But I can't help touching her back, caressing her soft cheek with my hand. And with closed eyes... we'll have inappropriate sex music, don't worry. And with closed eyes, she kisses me on the fingers, counting the joints with her lips. I'm saddened beyond my expressive capability. Here we are, a boy and a girl, both in love, or something like that, with each other, and maybe not, and yet... something is broken. I can feel it in me and in Rin, the way our gazes merely brush against each other, shying away from contact, in her closed, timid posture, and in my way of touching her like a china doll, afraid of shattering her delicate form. In how we are closer than we've ever been, yet I'm not feeling happy. It's like yesterday. When did tenderness and forlornness become one and the same word? Acts of affection start invoking only longing. How? Why did we end up like this? When you went up behind her and finger banged her with... that was random, man. Well, okay, it was her fault too. She's like 6, but we're just friends. Oh, teenagers! No, don't answer that. I'd like to say to myself, but fighting against the omniscience of self-awareness is a lost cause. Magic fingers! Still, I'm here, and Rin is here, and it feels like she might be able to solve whatever problem she has. And if she can, why couldn't I? Or why couldn't we? It feels like taking that step is too much, too difficult, too uncertain. So, for now, all I can do is dry her up so she won't get a cold again. I pet her head, trying to sort out the hair that refuses to be sorted out even when wet. A pair of dark, glazed eyes follows my every movement. Pants too? She nods in answer, leans back, and spreads her legs with a grotesquely inviting gesture that makes a nasty feeling crawl up and down my spine like a bad premonition. It's not enough to sober me, though, as the silence is starting to make me feel detached from myself. I move automatically without thinking, even though I should. I should talk to her about this, or at least about something. The silence is a spell, a pact that has bound us to this private world made of the dull sound of rainfall and the soft feel of her skin against my fingers. I told you it'd be a while before they actually start fucking. It's all slow and shit, which I don't mind. The button of her trousers is fastened tight, but it opens surprisingly easily. Slipping them off is hard, mostly because she's sitting on them with no intention of standing up to ease my task. Foreplay, damn it! I kneel down uncomfortably and titillatingly. That's a terrible word to use there. His writing, like, dives into a fucking pit whenever he has to write, sex stuff. It's the worst it ever is. So I can quit. He does dialogue well, he does, certain things well. I guess if I really wanted to analyze his writing, which would be fun, I would come up with a more concrete answer, but one thing he can't do is sex. So I can quickly dry her bare feet, remembering that they're as important to her as hands are to me. That's stuff like that. He does like that little sentence well. Little things like that. But as I work the towel up from her ankles, Rin brushes her thigh against my cheek and nudges the small of my back with her heel to make me come closer. Again, teenagers. I look up to meet her silent stare that was waiting for me to look up. That assuming, expectant stare seems to say that the ball is in my court. Balls. I fleetingly brush my hand against her inner thigh. The touch makes her gasp sharply, as if she was trying to hold back breathing. I'm gonna break out the music here in a second. What if I do this, then? A small kiss I place on her thighs, enough to make Rin lose her composure, to shut her eyes. We have a 14-year-old in here? This is an 18-up stream. Get your silly ass out of the stream. Who's the 14-year-old? Who's the 14-year-old? Closure, Kezzup. I don't think he's 14. That is bed. You should be in bed. Is that what you want to? Would it be alright now to take this step? What if... maybe if... Okay, now we have a choice here, everybody. Do we put up the notepad now? Or do we just sort of deal with the image that's about to happen as soon as I press the button? Do we... Because technically it's not like... it doesn't show anything, but, I will bring up a notepad just in case. Also, I have to find the sensor file. There we go. Whoa. So that's I have a file that, depending on what route we chose, it tells me when to put up a picture so we don't see tits on here. Big deal, I know, but still. Where are we? Let's see here. Okay, I don't have it up here to censor this part, but I can. Worst comes to worst, we can do that. So, hold on. Hold on. Cooking this up here. Worst comes to worst, we do have this. You know, let's put it there. Let's leave it there. It's more amusing that way. So hazy thoughts float somewhere in the back of my own focused mind. Somehow, this whole situation is making it hard to think, as if my head was full of cotton fluff. But that's alright. Seems thinking is not something we need right now. By the grace of vastly smaller amount of fabric, slipping off Rin's panties is considerably easier than her trousers. See? Look, her panties are gone. You can't really see anything, because the way she's sitting, but I'm just saying, like, you know. We're all mature here. Everybody shout vagina. We're all mature. They disappear past my field of vision, sliding somewhere away down her legs. It seems I did a poor job with the towel since Rin's legs are still wet from the rain. Well, whatever. Yep! Yep, like that, yeah. Nom nom. Guided by instinct more than rationality, I move closer and taste the different kind of wetness. That's I told you, the writing gets amazing when we hit the sex scene. A different kind of wetness. She responds to me through the slow movements of my tongue on her skin. You know what's funny? The people that are shouting, vagina, or whatever, like, I don't think are actually immature. Anybody that went, ew, or gross, unless, no, okay, maybe you guys are. Because, come on. Come on. Jokes, yeah, sure. But, ew? Like, come on. Really? Ew? Oh well. I'm trying to figure out what would cause it. I don't know many women that would say ew. I don't know. Like, even gay men, I don't think really care. Who's grossed out by that? Come on. Oh well. She responds to me to the slow movements of my tongue on her skin, to my kisses on her flesh. Her muscles and relax in the rhythm, as if what I'm doing was uncomfortable. Well, if it is uncomfortable, then you suck, he said. Her muscles. Okay, to hear Rin trying not to make a sound when I suck on her is unreal. The whole morning has been unreal, like the surreal tangibility of an unawakening dream. Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this to her now, but I'm going with the flow. Besides, the point of no return was 1,000 miles ago. We hit the point of no return at Magic Fingers, people. The people going, no! When I pulled it down, make me happy. I don't think I can handle this, no. I move around. I'm playing a porn game in front of 200 people. Could you handle it? I move around, try to do things to her, to find the places where her weakness lies. To tease her, drive her mad with pleasure because I want to. I want to do this to her. But she doesn't squeal, she doesn't squirm, for maybe I can't make Rin any madder than she already is, no matter what I do. They're hate-fucking. They really are, actually. Her ragged, heavy breathing mixed with unintelligible moans is that of a lunatic, but I don't cause it. I only release that from her. She becomes more and more moist, and I drink from her. Drink from her. Feeling a heat growing inside myself. I try to reach her deepest places, to feel over again this way. My every action is met with a different reaction, but all of those are out of pure lust. Oh my god. I can't breathe. This is so fucking funny. Oh my god. Oh man. Rin is lost in desire, willing to— oh no, now we can't read it! Okay, good enough. He's down there. Rin is lost in desire, willing to let anything happen to her if I do it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the creepiest sentence in this entire scene. She becomes closer and closer to the moment of release, but the way to that is an uphill slope of madness. Still, she's going that way. I'd say she's coming that way, Hisao. Oh! The muscles don't relax anymore between the waves of ecstatic spasm. Rin just becomes tenser and tenser, contracting so much that it must be physically painful, but I don't let go. I keep going, and I know she wants it too. She desperately wants me to do this to her. And that actually isn't creepy because he's right, but still. The leg curls around my shoulders and draws me closer, so close that I think I'm going to choke. I keep going because it's the only possibility. As I push the button, again, this guy's sex writing is magical. He's actually used the phrase, push the button. Oh my god. I pushed the button. He's so clinical. It's— oh my god. It drives her into gasping for breath, locking her leg into a cramp against my back, losing her mind in the sensation. At that precise moment, I seem to forget all it was meant to be, all it should be. All I know is that she came here and— I think there was a towel at some point, too. None of it matters. All that matters is this, what we have now. 'Cause we're horny fucking teenagers. Her orgasm surges through me, too, exciting me in a completely new way. Wait, so she can transfer her orgasm? What'd she transfer it through? His tongue? Is there like a plug and socket thing going on there? It's a timeshare. Oh my god. The candy-like button. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Whew. Hold on, I'm bringing up the list of things to censor so I can, there we go. Okay. I think we're alright here. It makes me feel anxious, nervous, bothered. As her body relaxes, I try to kiss down there again, but it startles her, causing her to jump. She already came, dude. Leave her alone. Jesus. No, Hisao. Enough. Come here. I stand up to remove the last piece of clothing Rin has. She leans against me to catch her breath, tickling me with warm air exhaled into my shirt. Blindly, I reach behind her back to feel my way below her shoulder blades, to find the contraption that fastens her bra. It opens more easily than I thought, falling to the floor somewhere. Her bare skin against me is a sensation so wonderful that I want to have more of it, and I do, embracing her. Rin's hair smells of rain, and I realize that I'm not hearing the sound of rainfall anymore. It's a sobering thing. The cushion that enveloped us into a reality of our own is gone, and I realize more clearly what is happening. You know, this really is not what friends should be doing. I whisper. Oh, he's whispering. You know, this is really not what friends should be doing. I whisper once again, noticing how such a simple matter as talking can be overbearingly difficult at times. Well, you stop being my friend? That wasn't what I meant. This too much, it's kind of sweet. Magic disappearing shirt. My belt buckle proves an obstacle despite my ability to open it in an eye blink under normal circumstances. Hey Rin, you want to see the problem in my pants? Sorry. If you've been here since the beginning, you should remember that conversation. Is there a problem in your pants? While I fumble with it, I don't notice Rin bringing her foot up between us until she starts tracing my chest with her toe. I look down to see what she's looking at. My heart. I reflexively flinch back, covering the scar tissue in the middle of my chest. The shallow mark that no, it's not a foot job. Shame on you. She was just noticing the scar. Shallow mark that the surgery following my heart attack left in my body has healed already, but, well, it's not a particularly pretty sight, if not overly repulsive either. It's barely noticeable, but she does have an eye for detail. Is this why she said she wanted to see me? I'd sort of forgotten about this because of all this mess with Rin, but now all the unpleasant things connected to my condition surface at once, rushing through my mind like a flash flood. Oh god, all the stories about old guys getting heart attacks when having sex. What if... Hey, Sal. I like that he, at least, I think in every single route, he thinks about that once. Or he's just like, oh, wait a minute, should I be doing this? Is this how I want to die? Realizing that I might have just spoiled the mood, I stumble to explain myself. Sorry, it's just that... Oh, I don't... It gets to the point where I can't say some of these. Because it's like, I'll say it in a really ridiculous voice. Let me touch you. Her eyes are sultry, inviting as she sits there bare naked without an inkling of shame. I never thought Rin could look like that. Yeah, I know, this is not how it should go. Even though Rin is right here, even though there should be no more questions, no obstacles, not this maddening feeling that something is constantly wrong, the same feeling that clutched my heart yesterday makes its appearance. We're together. In a way that's difficult to define, it eludes description as stubbornly as it evades change. Would a relationship like this be alright? Could we ever change to become closer? You guys are silly. Even though we would stay together for all of eternity, we might never find our mutual understanding. But there's no such thing as eternity. This may mean we'll not be together forever. No, you wouldn't be, which is why the neutral ending fits better. If not our differences, then the flow of time will pull us apart with irresistible force. Rin is a creature of the moment, of whim and of impulse. She's bitchy, really. Sorry. I like her, but she's bitchy. I am nothing of the sort. This is a fact I can understand very clearly. If for no other reason, for this reason, I should grasp the moment. Grasp it firmly! Even if it's the only moment we will ever have, I shouldn't let myself spoil it. Even if I can't escape myself, Rin can't either. I know it now. We both have things we can't let go, things we can't not think, feelings we can't not feel. But she allows herself to want me without any restraint here and now. So fuck already! I'm sorry, you know, Isao, you really have to stop worrying. Rin interrupts me before I get further, which is good, because I don't know what I could have said. Her voice, void of its usual spaciness, scolds me softly without an edge. You really have to learn to let it go. She scans me calmly, almost calculatingly. I wonder what I look like through her eyes. Damn, they're so green it almost hurts. I always was so enchanted by her eyes, those mysterious, captivating eyes that always were too restless for their own good. But I was... You guys are silly. So every once in a while I read the chat and I start laughing. But I was also always intimidated by them. Yeah. Rin is intimidating, on more than one level, and especially right now. She's frighteningly lucid, the goosebumps on her skin giving way that she's cold or scared too. Either way, I steel myself and step back to Rin, embracing her to feel her in my arms again and to banish my doubts. The sight of her gentle, loving eyes seems to melt those doubts away like the last snow of winter. Ah! Boob! It was not what it said that there. Oh well. So I had it written down when the nudity was going to pop up. I must have written it down wrong because Yeah, I'm looking at it, and that's not what it says. Oh, well. She presses her head against my shoulder, seeking a place to rest herself in. Wait a minute. Oh, that's why. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong one. Okay. She presses her head against my shoulder, seeking a place to rest herself, leaning against me, like as I lean against her. Let go. Yep. Yup! Yes. You should forget about stuff like future and past. It's not like you can change those kinds of things. I wanted to say something to her, but I've lost my voice, so I just mumble something unintelligible at her. You should just be with me for now. Maybe she understood what I wanted to say, even if I didn't. Come here. I am here. Come closer. My entire body is thinking only in positives now, so I do, hugging her more tightly. Closer. She wants you to stick it in her, he said. I press my lower body against hers. She tenses a little. Just a little. Closer. Her final plead is more like a prayer. There's only one way to be any closer than this. I reach down between us and guide myself, sinking myself into her. Every muscle in Rin's body stiffens at the same time. Okay, I have this written down as apparently the place I was supposed to put this up. There you go. Say, I did it right this time. She doesn't say anything or wince, so I push deeper, eventually moving out. And again. And she moves with me. I'm not gonna bother with the music. We did the music last time. This is fine. Just, we're almost done with it. Our movements melt together. Like, again, the Rin sex scenes are weird. Like, it's mostly dialogue, and then there's a little fucking, and then it goes away. So, ignore. Our movements melt together into one continuous string of back and forth, in and out. In and out, in and out, in and out. All sensations become sharper, amplified tenfold. My brain gave up interpreting all this stimulation ages ago, and now I'm left with no choice but to feel all of this with my entire body. It's very clinical. Kentaro points out the real problem with all of his sex writing. It's super just descriptive and clinical. It's like that for Rin too, I know it. I can see it, I can feel it. Deep into that darkness peering, wondering, fearing, doubting. She breathes sharply in and out, losing all— Stop saying in and out, goddammit! Losing all composure and grace, breathes warmly against my shoulder. Between those fragile breaths, she sometimes kisses me tenderly, gently, as if she was unsure how to do it properly. But there's no hesitation. Desperately clinging to me, drawing me closer so I can feel all of her. She moves against me, around me, so it's hard to say where I stop, and she begins. Oh my god! We take it slowly, excruciatingly slowly, as if we had all the time in the world, even though we only have this moment, and nothing beyond that. This feeling is... Wait. I stop moving, slightly alarmed. Maybe it hurts, or... It probably does. That doesn't look comfortable. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at that and I'm like... Ow. She looks at me in a way that I can't really begin to interpret. Is this it? Huh? No, I haven't come yet, if that's what you're asking. You said I don't have to be alone. Her eyes are full of an innocent, fuzzy-headed confusion that makes me chuckle a little at the back of her head. Yeah, this is what I meant. That you have someone you can come to when you get soaked in the rain. It means you're not alone. If there is such a person for you. She answers with a kiss, reminding me that we've stopped moving for no real reason. So we start from the top, almost at the same time, each mirroring the rhythm of the other. It's a bad time to have start having a conversation. Somebody in the chat says, "Do you know this character?" Rin has bad timing for pretty much anything. I move faster, faster in and out of her, my sweat mixing with hers, glistening on our shared skin like diamonds and pearls. Pokemon! Gotta fuck 'em all. Oh my god. Diamonds and pearls. Oh, that moved. She moves faster, grinding herself against me in the throes of our desire. Burn my consciousness just like the compelling feeling in my body burns my instincts. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. He's probably not thinking. As those feelings grow, Rin makes no signs of stopping. She curls her feet behind my lower back, forcing me to drive myself inside her as deep as physically possible. This is a thing of beauty. Each millimeter sending waves through my spine. My mind blacks out. Like, some of the sex writing in this, the best stuff is like, Shizune's is really sultry. Like, that's the only good thing about Shizune's route, is that the porn is actually successfully porny, I guess. But it's weird for me to read, because I'm like, this is male perspective shit, and it's weird, so, My mind blacks out as the world erupts into a flash of bright white blindness. Alright, I assume that's the end of the oh my. Present. I think I know what the present was. It was white and sticky.